Today's article is tips on staying calm during the holidays. There are many simple ways to keep from being frazzled. Stress, grief, depression, fear can all be intensified during the holidays. It's because we face pressures to provide, to enjoy, to be social. The pressures come from societal expectations and our own. If we're struggling with emotional setbacks, loss, or grief, we're wise to assess how we feel about our level of participation in the season's activities. Some people want to participate because doing so restores a sense of normalcy for a time, or maybe distraction from their current challenges. Other people might just find it just all a bit too much, preferring to be on their own or just with immediate family. Whatever the decision is, it would be best if it supports our well-being. But would it help to have some techniques to preserve our equilibrium during these challenging times? And I want to start by talking about the autonomic nervous system, that is the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, which operate automatically regardless of what's going on. They both affect the same organ structures and they're always active. It's our natural state to be alert for danger, so the sympathetic nervous system is always working. And when we've determined that the environment is safe, then our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in and allows us to relax, to eat, to digest our food, and let our body heal and restore health. So when you're struggling with life's challenges, it's really important to pay attention to giving our parasympathetic nervous system, our vagus nerve, as much support as we possibly can. The management of our physical response to grief and stress is not really to silence the sympathetic nervous system, that fight, flight, or freeze response, but rather to support the parasympathetic system. It is comprised of 4 cranial nerves and 3 spinal nerves, which run from the head, especially around the ears, through the neck and chest to the abdomen. And we're at our most calm when that vagus nerve gets the support it needs to do its job. The first step in understanding our individual response to stress is to learn the various feelings that register in our body. So I'll just give you an example. For me, stress, general stress, often shows up as a general agitation. If it has a central locus, I would say it's underneath this suprasternal notch or jugular notch, where the collarbones connect to the sternum. I suppose it's why it takes me a few moments to speak when faced with a perceived threat. When I think of my husband who died a few years ago, I feel sadness closer to my heart. I rarely get the deep, all-consuming pain that was so often present in the early phase of my grief. But I do still tear up from time to time and feel that longing in my heart for his presence. When something activates the fears that I learned in my childhood, I feel it in my stomach. Yeah, they still do show up after all these years, even though I practice loving kindness to the little girl who still lives inside me. Those lifelong misperceptions do die hard, but my inner child is learning to be calm and feel safe in the world. It's a work in progress. There are many simple, easily accessible things to do in order to actively support our vagus nerve. So here are a few examples. The most accessible thing we can do to calm our body and mind is a calming breath. So when we're stressed, our breathing gets more shallow and faster. Consciously changing breathing to low and slow. Just think low and slow. Your stress response will soon follow. So it's just simply take a deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out slowly. Repeat that as often as you need to. If your heart's been racing, you'll notice that it will slow down. But just a cautionary note, never hold your breath. Hold your breath, like hold, when you're pushing or pulling or straining, don't hold your breath and keep it held. You need to force yourself to breathe out if that's a habit of yours, to hold your breath. Force yourself to breathe out. Holding your breath can lead to hypoxia, which is lower oxygen levels in your bloodstream than are important for working muscles. Could lead to fainting or even a stroke. Another activity is to put one hand on your heart and one hand over your stomach. Breathe low and slow, and think of someone you love or some place that brings you calm. We're told that we have actually 3 brain centers: the brain, the heart, and the stomach. They're all their own little ecosystem. They talk to each other, but they are different. They respond differently. So if we can connect our stomach and our heart, it helps to connect those 2 systems, get them talking to each other, and create a sense of calm. Give yourself a hug. Hold it until you feel calm. Smile right up to your eyes. You'll be surprised how this changes your internal stress response. Laugh, chant, hum, especially in the lower register. It's the lower register that activates your vagus nerve. Splash cold water in your face. It's very refreshing and kind of shocks the system a little bit. Take your shoes off if you can. Feel the floor under your feet, or if you're outside, feel the ground, the support that you have. Sometimes when we're under stress, we can feel like we're kind of flying away and disconnected. Shoes, bare feet or sock feet on the ground, paying attention to that can really help stabilize us. And drink water, lots of water. I've put a few exercises in the video description. Give them a try when you're done here. If you practice one or more of these techniques that I've just talked about on a regular basis, they will be second nature to you. Then when stress, grief, or fear sort of rear their head, you'll more quickly be able to access those techniques and activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Incidentally, we are in turkey season. It's good for our parasympathetic nervous system because it contains tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid which contributes to the production of serotonin. And serotonin promotes calm, a good mood, digestion, sleep, among other important bodily functions. Other foods that have tryptophan include red meat, pork, poultry, eggs, fish, dairy, nuts, seeds, tofu, and oatmeal. You can spread the messages on this channel by liking, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. If you click on the bell, you'll be alerted when a new video is posted. And if you want to have a conversation with me or more in-depth coaching through your grief journey, I'm here to help. You can contact me through my website or by email, and the links are shown in the channel information section. I am a grief coach, writer, and poet. I live in Victoria, BC, Canada. We can chat over video conference media. There is a light to guide you out of the darkness of grief. I wish you a peaceful holiday season.